All right, let me show you how to do this real quick. Basically, this is this process is going to be the same as for this one as for the other one, and probably the new version, which is the L3, which I think is just a more expensive version than these. These are the Amazon Echo series. You find them on Amazon for right around $35 a pair. You can find them on eBay as well through the Recoil Audio store. So, but basically, there's a sticker on the back. You just remove that sticker. I just, like my booger wall, I just put it right there, and I'll come back to it later. And then it's a number 2 Phillips. Pull that out, and then this comes off. You take the old diaphragm, get rid of it. Make sure there's no debris in there. There shouldn't be any ferrofluid or anything like that in there. And don't put ferrofluid in there. That's a dumb device. You can clean it in there if you want. There's a little bit of specks in there, but I think they'll be fine. So it's real simple. It's got a 1-hole lineup. Some of these have 2-hole lineups. So, but basically just put it on there like that. Is it like that? Like that. No, it's not like that. Voice coil goes inside. So that's it. And then this goes on top. And that's it. You put the screw in the back, and then that's your replacement diaphragm. And you can get the replacement diaphragm from me. We're gonna call this this particular part number TW250 RD, as in replacement diaphragm. So, and you can see it's just a little voice coil, brand new, little metal diaphragm with a plastic housing, and then the terminals. That's it, and it just kind of sits in there. Pretty precision. That's it, guys. And those are, what did I say? $10 each? $10 is fine. $10 each. And then if you you order something else and you want to add them to it, just do them for $8. So we're already going to burn through we already burned through the first tray with my swap outs. And then there was a dealer in Utah that bought a bunch of them, bought 12 of them. And so we got about 20 left. Ish. So let me know if you need them. But I just wanted to show you, technically all of this type of cast aluminum 2-part tweeter like this, or 3 parts, technically all of them can do this. Because again, these are all made by the same company. But a lot of companies do not provide replacement diaphragms. A lot of times they say they're going to, but it gets kind of weird because, like, and this is even with Recoil, like, they don't provide them. I had to, like, use my dealer powers to, like, order them, and then I had to wait for them to come over on a container. They're like, do you want us to ship them air? I'm like, no, don't ship them air. Just put them in the container, and then when they show up, send me a bill. And so that's what they did, and they're like, oh, you only want 40? I'm like, yeah, that's all I need for right now. I just want to see how well they do as far as replacement diaphragms for you guys. But you always want to save these tweeters. There's nothing wrong with saving them. A lot of times when they're made by the same company, and a lot of times it'll look like a different tweeter, like a different brand or something like that, but it'll use the same diaphragm. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Some companies, see, Rockford was supposed to sell them, they didn't. Serwin Vega was supposed to sell them, but they ended up not doing that. And see, like in the case of the old Diamond Audio, Edge, which is the parent company to Cicada and Recoil, Edge was the one that originated that tweeter, that designed it and produced it for Serwin Vega Mobile anyway. And so a lot of times you can go back to Edge if they were the OEM, and you can order diaphragms for that particular tweeter. So remember that Diamond Audio and Serwin Vega Mobile used to be owned by the same guys that now own Recoil Audio USA. And so they coordinated with Edge to provide OEM original equipment manufacturer services to those two brands. So and then they ended up being underwater during the recession. The group ended up selling them to an investor in LA that ended up buying the Serwin Vega Home DJ brand version, half of Serwin Vega, And so now they own Cerwin Vega Home, DJ, and Mobile. They also own Diamond Audio. I don't know what else they own, but I know they own those. And since then, they've kind of left Edge and done their own OEM work. Because again, sometimes you can find a cheaper vendor that's going to shave off 10%. And sometimes people want that. Sometimes you want to keep a relationship. I don't know. I'm not big like that. I just hear from the grapevine, hear through the grapevine on stuff. So, but to final up this one, because this was already 5 minutes, it's too long. You put the screw back up in there. Typically these are metric. Not that that's bad. It's just the way it is. This is made in China. And then probably farmed out to like India or even Africa. But it's a really good tweeter. I think I've done testing on them before or a video on them before. It's just a bullet tweeter. It's really high frequency. The crossover that comes with them, I think, is up at should be like a 3 microfarad, which I think is 10K or 6K, something like that. It's up there. But again, that's only a 6 dB roll off, so it doesn't roll off right away. So, but that's appropriate. And then somebody was asking about like, did they have a bad batch? Is that why you're ordering these diaphragms? I was like, no. The problem is that sometimes, like, Recoil does not consider me like awesome, like important. So I can make a request. I can make a suggestion. Sometimes they take them. Most of the time they don't. One of the suggestions that I've made is to put what Larry F. called an optical tweeter protection. So what is an optical tweeter protection? Optical tweeter protection is a light bulb, an incandescent bulb, old-fashioned. You don't want to use an LED. You want to use an incandescent bulb. And they used to put them in sometimes in the crossovers. Now, what that does is in the tweeter is when you drive it too hard, the lamp, right, the bulb lights up. And when it lights up, there's more resistance that it feeds into the circuit. So in a very easy, very analog way, it just protects the circuit the more you drive it, which is which is ideal. That's basically what you want, because you don't ever want to fry the tweeter. And what they've been using now is the little ceramic, it's not a thermistor, maybe it is. It's a little ceramic disc like this, and it has 2 pieces of dissimilar metals inside of it, and it's a little circuit breaker, and when it gets hot, it pops open. And that's supposed to protect the tweeter from your abuse. Because anytime you blow a speaker, especially a tweeter, that is your fault. Don't do that. So, but it has that little circuit breaker that opens up, and then usually when it cools, it collapses and comes back together and connects the circuit. So, but again, I prefer an optical tweeter protection or driver. Because you can use them for a mid too. And that's what they actually do in the old PA cabinets, JBL, things like that. I've had people bring those in, and I'm like, I can't believe they have passive crossovers in them. And you open them up, and the inductors are all melty, from on the circuit board and everything like that, because people just fucking drive them. And passive crossovers are really not the way to go for high-powered stuff. You should really go active. But again, this is just a cheap pair of tweeters. You don't really want to dedicate another pair of crossovers and a DSP or anything like that, because you don't really have that capability on a potentiometer type of crossover filter on an amplifier. Some of them do, where they have the switch that goes 10x or 1x, but again, you don't want to rely on that pot because the difference between 6K and 3K is a lot for a tweeter. That's a whole octave, and so that can destroy your tweeter. So there's some protections you should have that are analog, and there's other protections that you should use, or crossovers. Again, if you're doing like a big array or something in the home theater, something fancy pants, then you can dedicate an active system to that. But again, you can put in your request to Recoil, and you can talk to Wang Hai on Facebook, because he's up there plugging all this stuff that's 6 months to a year out to get you all excited and then disappoint you. But again, you can, I don't suggest you complain. I just encourage you to make a suggestion to him, because he's the guy. He's the one that controls Recoil, really. The other partner here in America is just the distributor for US. So I hope that differentiates a little bit of that. And again, they're very glad for me to promote their equipment, but I am not considered a professional. I am not pedigreed. I'm not any of that stuff. Again, I'm just they basically just consider me a sales guy, which I'm like, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't have to attend any of those stupid meetings. Don't put your dick on the copier. So lame. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. If you need the diaphragms, just text me direct 602-312-6504. Let me know your name and your shipping address, kind of like introduce yourself. Let me know what you're looking for, and then I will add you to the phone, and then we will go over your options. That's how it works. Love you. Talk to you later.